as you are taking steps forward and expanding your mind and adjusting your neural network, you're going to see what you're capable of. And I have a feeling, and I also know you're going to surprise yourself of what you can do. So I live right next to a canyon, and I like to go for, it's called a quick 1 mile hike. So it's straight up the canyon for half a mile and then turn around and come back. Blood pumping, right? It gets my blood pumping. Well, this last week on Friday, I was going to head out for my 1 mile hike up the trail and then back down the trail. When I got to that point, that half mile point, there was this cool, cold air coming down the canyon. And I was like, whoa, I love the smell of cold air in a canyon. It's just so good. I just love it. So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm just going to go a little bit further. I know this one spot. I'm going to just push myself, get to this one spot. Then I'll turn around and come back. Well, I kept going and I got up to this spot and I was just, breathing heavy. I was sweating, it was just intense. And I stood there and I looked at my watch and I was like, you know what? I could go a little bit further. So I picked another spot and I thought, you know what? I've only gotten up this canyon to this one particular point. I'm going to get to that point. So then I took off and I started going, and certain spots got super steep and I could feel the burn in my legs, as I'm going up this canyon, which is good, right? The burn is good. And breathing heavy, nice cold air. The sun wasn't shining on the road yet, or the trail. It's kind of a trail road. And I was just loving it. There was nobody around and I was just really enjoying my time being in nature. Excuse me. And I got to that point that was the furthest I'd ever gone up the canyon. And I was standing there just super excited that I had got to that point and actually gone a little bit further. And I was standing there breathing heavy, just kind of resting for a moment. And these two guys come walking down the trail. And I asked them about what's up the trail. And they're like, oh, it's gorgeous. You're going to love it, And they said, oh, yeah. And there's also way up there, there's a mountain spring. And the guy said, it's good water. You can drink it straight from where it's coming out of. You'll love it if you get up that far. So then those guys went on and I stood there. And I was about a third the way up the canyon to where this mountain spring is, way back up the canyon. And I'd never been there before, but it was Friday. I had some time, this cool mountain air, the sun's not shining on the trail, and I don't have any water with me, and I did not have it all planned to go clear up there, but I couldn't resist. I took off. I just started going. And so many times, my legs and my body were like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go get a drink of water at the top of this canyon. I'm going to go find this spring that I've been wanting to hike up to for the last 2 years, but I just never really took the time to get there. I knew where I wanted to go, but I never really took the time to get there. So this was the day. I'm going to take the time. I'm going. So I kept going up the trail, and the mountains and the rocks and the mountain peaks, the trees, all the noises in the trees from the animals. I mean, I was just, there was so many things going on. And a couple of times I actually got a little spooked because I was like, wait a minute, I'm clear by myself. And I know there's cougars up here. It's like, maybe I'm going to have to battle a cougar. And so the trees and the trail were just captivating because I didn't know what was beyond as far as I could see. Like, for example, this picture, I could only see that far. But I knew if I walked down that trail, I could see even further. So if I kept going, I could see more of the trail, but I had to take the next step, right? And also, just so you know, I did stop and smell the flowers on the way up the trail. I had to. And then the sun started to peek over the edge of the mountain and it was shining through the trees. And I was just like, this is the best ever. But I knew up at the top somewhere up in this canyon that there was there was water coming out of the ground. And it was mountain spring water. And I love backpacking. I love mountain spring water, especially when it's cold and you know it's coming out from the deep part of the ground, right? Oh, I just love that. Just love that. So I kept going. And in fact, this is the canyon right here. The canyon trail goes all the way up here. And I'm up here by myself. And there's nobody up here. And so this is the city's down here in the valley. So this is the canyon. And I'm up in the middle of these mountains, getting close to where this water is. Let me see if I can share this with you. See if you can see this and hear this as I find the meadow where the water is. Okay, I'm looking for a natural spring. They say it's on the edge of the meadow. So you have to stop and listen. I hear it. There's water. Oh my gosh. Look. Oh my gosh. I made it. Up here on the top of the mountains. Way up here. There is water coming out of the ground. Oh my goodness. And so, of course, okay, I made it on the water. Got it. So good. It was so good. It was so good. It was a beautiful experience. I got to the top, I got my big drink of water, and then I turned around and headed down the canyon. When I got back home and I measured where I had gone, it was a 7-mile hike. Kind of blew my 1 mile out of the water. I felt it when I got back to the house. I felt it. I felt my legs tired. I felt my legs being sore. The mountain water had wore off by the time I got down to the bottom because it started getting warm. But I still, even today, I'm still reflecting on the experience that I thought when I got to a certain point, I didn't have any more energy. I thought that's all I had. Like I couldn't do anything else. But after I took a moment, I caught my breath. I gave myself a little bit of a rest. And then I went to the next level. And then the next level and the next level. And I was pleasantly surprised that I had that in me to get all the way up there to that fresh water pouring out of the mountain. And all the way down the trail, I kept thinking about all the other areas of my life that I think that's all I could do. Like there's no more. I can't do anything else in this particular situation. But hiking up there, it exploded my brain to go, wait a minute, Duncan, there's more in you. And that's what I definitely learned whenever I go walk or run or hike, is that when my body says, that's it, we can't do anything else. It's like, yeah, you can. You can totally go a little bit further. But it opened my mind this last Friday that there's more. And I got to take care of myself, right? I can't hurt myself along the way. But I'm also like, you know what? Just because my brain says that's it doesn't mean that's it. No. We're capable of doing great things. And you know it. You know it. You find this inside yourself too. Is like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. you're going to surprise yourself of what you can do. What I'm doing now today as a coach, as a facilitator, there's no way I could have ever imagined this 17 years ago. It wasn't even in my thoughts. But every step of the way, I start to see more, starts to open up to me more. It's like walking down that trail and seeing more of the trail and seeing where I can go. But clear back in the beginning, there's no way I could have seen this. And you're on a similar journey, walking down your trail, guiding your mind and your body and your gifts and talents forward. When you can't see beyond the distance you can see, get to the end of that distance and watch. The trail turns. It moves this way. It moves that way. You'll see the next section of the trail, but you got to get to the end of what you can see. And the trail will continue to open up. It really is living by faith, that there's more to us. There's more to me. There's more to you. And we're here to find all of that. It's called potential.